Hey puzzlers, this is Steve here with another video on how to solve some logic puzzles. This one's known as Castle Walls. How it works is you're going to be filling in a continuous, non-intersecting loop around the grid. The black clue cells must be outside the loop, whereas the white clue cells are going to be inside the loop. The numbers and the arrows indicate how many line segments are going to be intersected in that direction. So what I mean by that is if we look at this seven vertical lines in that direction are going to be crossed by the loop. Whereas if we look at this clue here, this 3 says that 3 horizontal lines in that direction are going to be crossed. And that's about it for the rules. What I'm going to go ahead and do is try to solve this puzzle for you guys as an example and share some common tips and tricks along the way that'll hopefully make it easier for you to solve this type of puzzle yourself in the future. Now, I did pull this particular puzzle from a recently published book of mine on Amazon. I'll post the link in the description below. Love it if you guys would check it out. Had a lot of fun making the puzzles. Hopefully you guys have a lot of fun solving them. So the number one tip I have for you with these is they're very similar to a Yajalin puzzle. If you haven't done those before, check out the link in the top corner. I've done a video on them, but a lot of the same tips and tricks apply. So for instance, like you can't go into dead ends. So like the loop wouldn't be able to go over here because this is a dead end. The loop would have no way of escaping, right? So we could automatically put an X there saying the loop can't go there. Same thing with this dead end over here. And then there's alleyways. And alleyways are when it has to shoot through. Like here, for instance, if the loop were to hit this cell here, it'd have to go through and hit all 3 cells. So that's an alleyway. But the tips that are specific to Castle Walls, I'd say, is anytime you have a white, or here I guess it's gray, clue that you know has to be inside the walls and is next to the border, you have to sandwich the loop between it. Otherwise, this won't be on the inside. Same thing here. You can see, you could kind of imagine this as the border. The line's going to have to go through here to include that part of the castle wall. Same thing here. And then again here, you know, it has to go through. And that's to keep the black cells out and the gray or white cells in. So after that, you know, of course you want to start in the easy clues here. Like 1, we know obviously this goes through here because it has to intersect 1 horizontal line. Then these are corners. So how corners work with loops is they have to turn. We can't close this loop here. You can't have more than 1 loop. So those obviously turn in the opposite direction. This 7 I hinted at earlier, I think is going to have to be all of these. Or if we count the vertical lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so it's got to cross all of those, and then that's a corner, so it has to turn down. That's a corner, it has to turn down. So this now is a dead end, right? You can't have a loop go in here. They'd have no way of escaping. You know, it'd intersect with it. So what we know is that's got to be X'd out. Now, the line has to, again, separate the gray or white clues with the black clues. So we know a line's going to go through there to separate these. This is a corner, so it heads down. Here is, you know, we have to basically sandwich the loop between these to separate the clues that have to be on the inside versus the outside. So a line can go through there. Now this 3 is an easy clue because we know 1, 2, 3, there's only 3 horizontal lines above it. So the loop has to cross through all of those. This is a corner, so it must bend. This is a corner, so it must bend. Now this loop here can't go up because that would be a dead end. It would have nowhere to go, nowhere to connect. It'd have to, you know, run into itself. So you know that comes down. And now this must turn because it can't connect up here. Otherwise, you'd have the loop intersect itself. So that must turn. And again, right, we have to basically separate the black cells and the white cells like that. And Oh, this 3. We have 1, 2, 3 vertical lines that it has to cross through. This is a corner, so it goes up. That's a corner, so that goes up. And this one clue, right? There's only 2 vertical lines to the right of it. Obviously, we can't go through that one, so we have to go through here. This is a corner, so it must turn up. This 3, I think we've already solved. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we've already crossed 3 vertical lines, so we can't cross that one. So that's now a corner. It must turn down. This cannot turn up, otherwise it'd be a dead end. There's no place for the loop to connect there. So we can cross that out. Oh, here's a white cell and a border. The loop has to go through there to incorporate this on the inside. This 5, actually, let's count. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertical lines. So actually, we know it goes through all of those. We know it can't go through this 6th one. This is a corner, so it turns. This is a corner, so that turns. Now the loop has to go through here because we have to separate these 2 clues from these 2 clues. So we know it actually goes through there. And now that we've actually seen 1, 2 horizontal lines have been crossed with this 2 clues. So we know we can't cross any more. So this is a corner, that turns. This is a corner, that turns. This is a corner. So that turns into another corner, so it must turn down. You know, this loop end and that loop end cannot connect, otherwise we'd isolate this one end, right? It would look like that, and then that would have no way to connect. So this must connect with that end. This has to go around like that, connects there. Now if we think 1, 2, 3 vertical lines have been crossed already, so that satisfies this clue, so we can actually X all of those out. You know, one of these has to be crossed, so we can't have this loop cross both of those. So if I had a pen and paper, I would put a dot here, knowing that the line has to hit this cell and turn left or turn right. But I can't, unfortunately, use a dot in this this scenario. No, so I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Let's go back to this 3. There's we already crossed 1, 2 horizontal lines. We need to cross 1 more. Obviously, we're not crossing this one. That would be, you know, a dead end. The loop would not be able to connect anywhere. And we can't cross this one because we've already connected the loop. So we have to cross this. That's 1, 2, yeah, I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3 horizontal lines we've crossed. So now this is a corner, has to come down, turn, shoot through that alleyway, and we're making good progress. So again, one of these is going to be crossed. Let's think about it. If we cross here, we couldn't cross there. We'd have to shoot through this alleyway and then down. And if we did it this way, yeah, this would be a dead end. This wouldn't be able to cross here, and you wouldn't, you know, there's no way these 2 loop ends could connect. So in fact, we know this one crosses and not that. So this has to shoot down here, turn, and shoot back up. And this then turns there. These can't connect. Obviously, that would create a loop within a loop, or you'd have 2 loops. You can't have that. So you can't prematurely close the loop. So we put an X there. This now is forced to turn up. And at this point, this 4, we have 1, 2, 3 vertical lines crossed. We need to cross 1 more to make it 4. So that is connect there. This has to continue going straight. Obviously can't turn up, otherwise you'd have a loop inside of the loop. So this has to connect like that, and there you go. I'm gonna clean up my marks there. check my work, and that is complete. So that is how you do a Castle Walls. Lots of fun. I actually really enjoy this type of puzzle. The loop puzzles have really grown on me a lot, and I think this is more fun than a Yaujlin puzzle, but maybe not as fun as, say, like a Sheep and Wolves Slitherlink. And this reminds me a lot of that because you have to keep certain clues outside the fence versus inside the fence. So very similar. If you like a Sheep and Wolves puzzles, I think you're gonna like Castle Walls, or vice versa. So hope you guys had a lot of fun. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And I hope you guys had a great holiday weekend.